Alright, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tomorrow, May 6th, 2020, will be 201 days after Event 201, the coronavirus outbreak simulation. And with that in mind, I wanted to do some more exploring on the significance of the number 201. We've covered a lot of its meaning, but of course, there's always more to uncover. And I think I dug up some very important clues here. So we've been talking about the connection to 201 and Pope Francis and the Jesuit Order, and it came to my attention that Bill and Melinda Gates have some major Jesuit connections. So we're going to go through the significance of 201. Again, if you're new here, we're going to talk about Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, which comes from Kabbalah. The story is that after the Crusades, the Knights Templar secured this knowledge in Jerusalem and brought it back to the Catholic Church. Of course, the Jesuits are a secret society, protectors of the Catholic Church. But in Gematria, in this language, the Jesuit Order equals 201. Ignatius of Loyola is the founder of the Jesuits. His name is 201. The current Pope, Pope Francis, his birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, is 201. The Holy Bible is also 201. And we'll get to all the revelation theming. Remember the term Harmegadu, which has to do with Armageddon, the final battle of good and evil. In Jewish Gematria, Harmegadu is 201. It's been pointed out that 14 of the world's 20 biggest pharmaceutical companies are located in New Jersey, supposedly one of the most hard-hit states by the coronavirus, right next door to New York, which has been the hardest hit. And New Jersey's home of the 201 area code, where so many of these pharmaceutical companies are. We'll get to that. But again, this predictive programming with 201 encoded, we covered so many examples. Another one just came across my plate this morning. Shout out to the person who tipped me off to this. There's a Netflix show that came out in 2015 called Between. And it's about a viral outbreak in a fictional town called Pretty Lake. Anyone who has Netflix can look up this show. Pretty Lake equals 56 like coronavirus, the same number encoded all over the place. We'll cover that more as well, 56. But right at the beginning of the show, they show you day 4. The first time they give you a death toll in this show is on day 4. And they say the death toll's 47, just like how Event 201 took place on the day leaving 74 days left in the year, which was a date with 47 numerology. But moments after they show you that, the 47 death toll, they show you this. Building number 201, and throughout this first episode, they must show this building 3 or 4 times. So you're sure to see building 201 at least 3 or 4 times in the first episode. And I haven't watched past the first episode, but somebody told me I better check this out this morning, and I'm glad they did. But you got the big 201 on the building, and then you have the Wilson E. 201 Health Complex. And again, this show is about a viral outbreak. By the way, the name of the show, Between, equals 74, like how Event 201 took place October 18th, the day leaving 74 days left in the year. Same day the military world games began in Wuhan, China. And we know what 74 symbolizes. The main character in this show, their name is Wiley, for another 74. And she's a pregnant daughter of a man of the church. So, we'll go over all of this, but again, you can add this show to your list of coronavirus predictive programming, putting the same old numbers in front of us. And of course, there's other shows like Containment, which is also on Netflix. It wasn't originally a Netflix show, but it's on Netflix. Containment ended July 19th, 2016, which was a leap year like 2020. July 19th was the 201st day of the year. What the film is about is the CDC unleashing a virus for experimentation purposes on the city of Atlanta, Georgia. It's a conspiracy by the CDC is what the show's about. And the official headquarters in Atlanta is called the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which equals 560, kind of like 56. But a lot of their outlets, including the ones in other nations, in Europe, in China, in states, it's just referred to as the Center, without the S on the end, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is another 201. So don't think that's any accident. It shows about the CDC unleashing a virus on Atlanta, where the CDC is headquartered, and it ended on the 201st day of the year. And again, just for one more important 201, don't forget that the man who coined the term corona in terms of and how it relates to a solar eclipse, he did so in New York, like where event 201 was. And a lot of interesting things about his name, but his full name does have Gematria of 201. The man who coined the term corona in relation to a solar eclipse. His Wikipedia page shows him doing the hidden hand, just like Pope Francis, whose name is also 201. The hidden hand pose, a Masonic pose that implies secrecy. And there it is right there from his Wikipedia page. Died at age 54, like Jesuit Order's 54. So, anyhow, coming back to this. Again, event 201. The Jesuit Order 201. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, 201. Pope Francis, the first publicly Jesuit pope, who was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. The Holy Bible, 201. The Catholic Church gave us the Bible as we know it. Now, we've been talking a lot about the revelation theming with the coronavirus pandemic, the dates, the agendas, and we've been talking about the 7 churches, the 7 seals, the death of the actor from the movie The Seventh Seal, who in his film career also played Jesus. He also played Satan. But notice just the gematria of 7 churches. Again, there's the 7 letters written to the 7 churches. A lot of 7s in Revelation. 7 churches equals 201, and when they're referred to as the 7 churches of Asia, it's also 201. The difference is running the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. That's why you want to know the ciphers forwards and backwards. And they're also referred to as the 7 churches of Revelation, which equals 121. Remember, the first case of coronavirus was confirmed in the United States in Seattle, Washington, January 21st, 121. And 7 churches of Revelations 121, Revelations 121. Again, if you're new here, Gematria. It's based on the alphabetic order. That's where Revelations 121. It's based on the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. That's where 7 churches of Revelations 121. It's based on the reverse alphabetic order. That's where 7 churches is 201. And it's based on the reverse alphabetic order with the rules numerology. You want to know all 4 ciphers to see the totality of the riddles. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, the rules numerology, coronavirus outbreak is 121. That was a headline on January 21st. First case was found in Seattle, Washington, where the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is, 121. They co-hosted event 201. Johns Hopkins University, 121. They co-hosted event 201. They ran the numbers for the simulation. They're now giving us the numbers for the supposed outbreak. And World Health Organization, also 121, headquartered in Switzerland with the World Economic Forum, which was the main sponsor of Event 201. Don't forget that Donald Trump was at the World Economic Forum January 21st in Switzerland, boasting about world trade and the world economy, while the first case of coronavirus was being confirmed in the U.S. Of course, there's a huge ritual with that, which we've talked about many times. So with regards to Bill Gates being one of the main sponsors of Event 201, his birth name is William Henry Gates, which equals 201 with the alphabetic order. It's also 84 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology. And remember, 84 is a big number with the Jesuits, also known as the Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuit Order. Jesuits 84. When Pope Francis first became Pope, they made a big deal about how he got a new car, a 1984 Renault. Pope Francis's birth numerology, born December 17, 1936, is 84. Right now he's 83 years old and change, which means he's in his 84th year of his life while all of this is going on. And it turns out that Melinda Gates, her father was a Jesuit priest, and it turns out that her and Bill are well invested in Jesuit schools in this nation. And it reminds that there's only 27 Jesuit universities in the United States, one of which is Seattle University in Seattle, Washington, where the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is. And the other big Jesuit school in Washington State is Gonzaga. So 2 of the 27 Jesuit universities are in Washington State. We'll get to that. But again, Melinda Gates. Her father, Actually, I apologize, you guys. It's not her father. It's her great uncle, was a Jesuit priest. She's Catholic, but her family has Jesuit connections. And remember the Event 201 simulation. The simulation said 65 million people would die over the course of 18 months. They did it on Melinda Gates' 65th day of her age. And of course in Gematria, pandemic is 65. On the 65th day of Melinda Gates' age, that ritual. And don't forget, Bill and Melinda Gates were married January 1st, 1994, 65 days after Bill Gates' birthday. And I would imagine they were put in this arranged marriage for this very moment in history, for this massive New World Order ritual. Again, I'm quite certain that the tip of the spear with the New World Order is the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. Notice people like David Icke never mention the Jesuits, and most people who get attention in the truth community never even talk anything about secret societies, most likely because they're a part of these secret societies. So here's a nice article from the Catholic Exchange. Bill and Melinda Gates, controlling population and public education. Wow, that's the same article where this is mentioned about how Melinda Gates' great uncle is a Jesuit priest. Of course, Bill Gates' father is one of the founders of Planned Parenthood, which of course has to do with population control, just like how Bill Gates has been appointed Mr. Population Control. In his 2010 TED Talk, he stated that we can do a good job reducing the population with vaccines and a number of other measures, but the very first thing he went to reduce population was vaccines. And don't forget, he was kicked out of India for giving contaminated vaccines to people. Vaccines that had the potential to take away lives. Now, with regards to Melinda Gates, who comes from Jesuit ancestry, her birthday is August 15th. We've talked about this before. August 15th is the day in history that the Jesuits were formed. They were formed August 15th. They were officially established September 27th. Remember, the dates are symbolic. So Melinda, she's got the right birthday for the Jesuit ritual. Again, the Jesuits have 27 universities in the U.S., like how they were established September 27th, which is the day leaving 95 days left in the year, which matters because they were formed to kill Martin Luther and his followers. Martin Luther, who wrote the 95 Thesis against the Catholic Church. Martin Luther, who wrote 2 books, one against the Catholic Church and the other one was against the Jews. And Bill Gates is Jewish and very likely a Jesuit. So, you know, say what you will about Martin Luther, but he noticed something wrong with those faiths and the threat they were to the world. Not to say that all Catholics or Jews are a threat to the world, but just take a look around. Take a look at your Supreme Court. It's all Catholic and Jewish, and it's never up to any good. And, you know, again, Washington, D.C. used to be the Catholic colony policed by the Jesuits, which is why it's between Virginia and Maryland, Virgin Mary. And now it's named after a Scottish Rite Freemason, which is George Washington. And the Scottish Rite is the most Jewish branch of Freemasonry. So something interesting about the name Bill and Melinda Gates, it has Gematria of 115. Remember, the first case of coronavirus was confirmed January 21st, but the story was that that person arrived back in Washington State on January 15th, 115, and then it was confirmed January 21st, 115, like Bill and Melinda Gates, and then it was confirmed in Bill and Melinda Gates' backyard. And remember, this is older research that we covered some time back. So this was back in 2018 we first covered this. It's a new discovery back then. The Scottish Rite and the Jesuits share a motto. At the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, they share this motto in Latin, which I can't pronounce correctly, but ad Majorem Dei Gloriam, something like that. Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam. But Gematria of 115, like Masonic, like France, and remember, the Scottish Rite came to power in France, the Jesuits were formed in France. Numbers that we talk about often, and that phrase does mean for the greater glory of God, which has Gematria of 351, which is the 26th triangular number. God is 26 in Hebrew and English. When you add 1 through 26 together, it's 351. Masonry and Jesuit have the Gematria overlap of 84, like United States of America. With regards to the motto being shared at the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, America and Scottish are both 32. America was established on a date with 32 numerology. And Freemasonry is also 158, like how the Jesuit formation date 15/8 fits in. So, again, you know, there can be no mistaking the way that these secret societies use this knowledge. Just for another example, again, I talk about this often, but it can't be emphasized enough. Pope Francis is the first publicly Jesuit pope, and he is the 266th pope. And the Jesuit motto IHS, which in Latin is Iesus Hominum Salvator, Gematria of 266 and 122, like Pope Francis is 122, and again, he is the 266th Pope. And don't forget that he was made Pope on March 13th, 2013, 3/13/13, 3/13/13. 3 is the second prime number, 13 is the sixth prime number. So 3/13/13 in primes is 266. Perfect number ritual. And it always is with these secret societies. So, again, just a few reminders there. 115, big Jesuit number, big Scottish Rite number. Don't forget that Bill Gates equals 57, Scottish Rite equals 57, vaccine equals 57. The name George equals 57, as in George Washington, the Scottish Rite Freemason who was inaugurated as president at age 57. And don't forget Bill Gates' interview with George magazine in 1997, which is a Kennedy publication. JFK was killed in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a Scottish Rite Freemason. But in that George magazine, Bill Gates tells us our future. And one of the main stories about that, from that 97 article, is what the future will be like in 2020. And on page 74, they have a mention of people possibly choking to death from a lung-attacking virus on page 74, like how Event 201 took place on the day leaving 74 days left in the year. Okay, so Event 201, remember their symbol was this. You know, it was a 2, a globe, and then a 1, right? So the numbers in that symbol are really 2 and 1, which of course ties in with Agenda 21, sustainable development. And there's been all sorts of stories about how, because, you know, essentially the world economy is on lockdown, we're seeing all these improvements in environmental condition. There was even a story about how the ozone has patched itself up. So they're saying all these environmental wonders are happening so fast because there's, you know, less people on the road, less travel, less pollution. So realize these things do fit in. This coronavirus pandemic is completely contrived. It's serving so many different agendas. It's allowing them to build their police surveillance state. It's allowing them to experiment with so many things, from AI on the roads to, you know, testing their surveillance grid, to seeing what can be done for the world by, you know, reducing economic activity, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things going on right now. But with regards to Agenda 21, we're going to talk more about the Pope and something that he wrote soon after he became Pope. But just realize the word Bible is also 21, Jesuits 21. Again, all of this stuff is biblical riddle. Don't forget that Society of Jesus equals 56, which is the official name of the Jesuits, like coronavirus. The term Pope also equals 56. And let me see. With regards to Washington State being a lot of where this agenda is coming out of, Washington is the 42nd state in order of statehood. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Jesuits 42, again, Seattle University and Gonzaga are 2 of the 27 Jesuit universities in the nation. So if you think about it, I mean, if there's 27 Jesuit universities, roughly that would mean that there's about 1 Jesuit university for every 2 states. So for one state to have 2, quite disproportionate. And don't forget that the first Jesuit university in the nation was Georgetown in Washington, D.C., which was once the Catholic colony. Don't forget that Washington, D.C. also sums to 56 in the same cipher, the most pure cipher, same as Society of Jesus. Toilet papers, 56 in that cipher. Mind control, Anthony Fauci, so on. Some other things that jumped out in light of this looking very Jesuit. From Pope Francis's birthday, December 17th, to the date that the first case was confirmed in the U.S., January 21st, was 35 days after his birthday. Of course, Catholics 35. Only one Catholic president so far in the history of the nation, and that's JFK, who was number 35. So 35 days after the Pope's birthday, Catholic, 35, one more time. The Jesuit Education Network that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation finances, the Cristo Rey Network, which is in Chicago, which is one of the most Jewish cities in the nation. Notice they have 35 Catholic work-study preparatory schools, 35 again. And then they say this stat about here that 46% of their students are not Catholic, so they're serving more than just Catholics. Again, the Jesuit agenda is to infiltrate all things. But that 46% is funny because, of course, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Catholics 46, like how there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, like how JFK got shot in the head at age 46, and like how the next president could possibly be Joe Biden, who is Catholic as well. He would be number 46. Don't forget his son died mysteriously at age 46, Beau Biden. Don't forget his wife and daughter were sacrificed right after he became senator-elect 40-some years ago. Also interesting, from Pope Francis's birthday to the date the pandemic was declared, March 11th, that was 85 days. Big Templar number. Templars also serve the Catholic Church. We've talked a lot about the Templars in this ritual, who are headquartered in Switzerland, who are the bankers. But 85 days, and notice Book of Revelations 85, Templars 85. Notice also the 12 weeks in one day, kind of like 121 where we began with Revelation. The 2 months and 23 days also pops out because novel coronavirus is 223. And, just, let me see. Just stories like this. This was CNN's front page last night. I mean, just look at this right here. Do you see it? Key model will revise projections to 134,000 U.S. deaths. And look at the address that they're sure to get in the shot there. 2203. Novel coronavirus 223. If you follow my work, you know about 134. Number of destruction. It's covered in my book. But coming back to this, don't forget March 11th, the date that the pandemic was declared. Date can be written 11/3, like 113, coronavirus pandemic 113, apocalypse, another word that relates to revelation, a synonym for revelation, apocalypse is 113. This headline from the beginning of the year, January 13th, 113, Pope Francis central to apocalypse prophecy as end of earth reference revealed. Remember, there is the prophecy of Malachi about Pope Francis, or it was way before Pope Francis' time, but the 266th Pope being the final Pope. We covered that a couple months back, if you want to go back and revisit that video. If I just said 226th, I meant to say 266th, 266, what Pope Francis is. again, corresponding with the Jesuit motto. This article was also written in 2014, so a little more than a year after Pope Francis becoming Pope. And look at the date of it, June 26th, 26/6, like 266. A bold plan for Pope Francis, Bill Gates to save the world. Isn't that interesting? There's some real standout numbers in here too. I'll just read a little bit of this. Yes, Pope Francis may call Bill Gates, get Gates to bring together his friends, the 67 billionaires who are as rich as half the world, the poorest 3.5 billion. Now, with regards to that 67, don't forget that the 67th Bilderberg Conference took place last year, and it was in Switzerland, where the Knights Templar are, and the World Economic Forum, and the World Health Organization, because all of these secret societies are related. Again, the Jesuits and the Knights Templar are on behalf of the Catholic Church. And don't forget, Knights Templar equals 65, like Switzerland, like pandemic, like how from the day that Trump was in Switzerland to the date that Congress approved the $6.2 trillion in stimulus was a span of 65 days. That was March 25th that money was approved. But reading on here, so 67 billionaires have the same wealth as 3.5 billion people. Think about how amazing that is. 67, the same amount of wealth as 3.5 billion. That's the power of mind control right there. And what these 3.5 billion people all have in common is they think they have no power. That's why they're ruled over by the 67 who know they do. So then it goes on, or Gates may make the call. Doesn't matter who puts the ball in action. Pope Francis needs to help in his mission to save the global economy from the rapidly accelerating triple threat of climate change, hunger, and inequality. Fortunately, Gates has a track record here. Back in 2009, he called billionaires Buffett, Rockefeller, Soros, Bloomberg, Turner, Oprah, and other philanthropists to a secret meeting in the Manhattan home of Sir Paul Nurse, British Nobel biochemist and president of Rockefeller University. Again, think about how the Microsoft and Rockefellers have been working on things such as ID 2020, the biometric scan that reveals all your medical records. Think about how they wrote the document some years back, talking about the situation we're now in, authoritarian rule. I forget what that document was called, the lockstep or something like that. We covered that probably 2 months back. Don't forget that Rockefeller equals 56 either, like coronavirus. But I mean, it's just so ridiculous for this to be the group of people who are going to save us. You know, Warren Buffett. Remember, his company Berkshire Hathaway was just reported to have lost $50 billion in the economic fallout exactly 50 days after Bill Gates stepped down from Berkshire Hathaway, which was on March 13th. That was the same day we were protesting at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, bringing awareness, trying to get the media to cover Event 201. But moving on, after this Rockefeller University mention, again in 2010, Gates created the Giving Pledge, which now has 122 of the world's super rich committing to give away half their fortune in their lifetime. Interesting number there, 122. Seattle's on the 122nd meridian. You might recall this year on January 22nd, the Netflix documentary Pandemic came out, which features Bill Gates predicting the future, as he's done so successfully over the course of the last couple decades. And don't forget that 3 years to the day, January 22nd, 2017, Bill Gates was in Davos, Switzerland, where the World Economic Forum is, predicting that in the near future there would be a epidemic, very possibly intentional, and that we weren't prepared for it. 122. The word satanic is 122, and this is a satanic cabal. Then it goes on, and there are even more wealthy folks to work with. The world is mass producing billionaires. Today there are 1,645 billionaires compared with 322 in 2000. So in 14 years, the number increased by times 5. And that's been the direction of things since the time of Ronald Reagan, who enacted a lot of policies that pretty much thieved all the wealth from the middle class and moved it upwards towards the super rich. Again, the super rich, they don't pay any taxes, they get all the incentives, they got government totally working for them, while more and more fees get put on the regular people. But 322, that number, right? 322. Don't forget the Johns Hopkins University equals 322, which is what the alumni refer to it as. In the Johns Hopkins University, part of Event 201. And it was founded by a Skull and Bones member, the secret society that identifies by the number 322. And Skull and Bones gets its symbolism from the Knights Templar. So again, you can see how all of these things circle back around towards things that are related to Catholicism. So they're saying these 1,600 plus billionaires control $7 trillion in world wealth. Forbes says the U.S. had 492, Europe 468, China 358, Russia 111, Latin America 85, India 65, Canada 29, Africa 29, and more. Okay, but anyway, this is when I stopped. I used to like Ralph Nader, but when Ralph Nader wrote his book that only the super rich can save us, I was like, okay, I'm out. I guess even Ralph Nader's one of them, but the super rich definitely won't be the people to save us. They will be the ones to destroy us, as they are systematically working at, through things such as this. All right, so very clear connections between 201, the Jesuits, Bill and Melinda Gates, who are clearly affiliated with the Jesuits. And with that said, let's go back and look at this document. More Latin, Laudato Si, if that's how you pronounce it. But Pope Francis, he wrote this document, and it was dated May 24th, 2015. Remember, May 24th is the 144th day of the year. Jesuit Order equals 144. When Donald Trump visited with Pope Francis, it was May 24th, 2017, the 144th day of the year, so 2 years after this document. And we pointed out that day, we'd been pointing out already, how Trump went to the Jesuit University Fordham in 1964, 52 years before becoming president-elect, which mattered because president equals 52, White House 52, government 52, authority 52, cabal 52, the word pope's 52. So 52 years before Trump became president-elect, he'd attended the Jesuit University Fordham. And what's interesting to think about is from 64 to 2020, when all this is going down, is 56 years later. Like coronavirus 56, Society of Jesus 56, Washington, D.C. 56. But anyway, May 24th, 144th day of the year, Jesuit Order 144, choosing the most simple cipher, the Alphabetic order. And then from that date that it was dated, it was officially published June 18th, and we'll get to why these dates matter. But what this was about, so again, the Latin means praise be to you. It was the second encyclical of Pope Francis, but they say that the first encyclical was written by the Pope before him, and he just put it out under his name. So they're saying that this one was truly the first that he authored. So even though it was his second while he was Pope, it was really his first. So the encyclical has the subtitle, On Care for Our Common Home, which relates again to Sustainable Development, Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, which Pope Francis has endorsed. So here we are in the decade before 2030, and we're kicking off this way. In it, the Pope critiques consumerism and irresponsible development, laments environmental degradation and global warming, and calls all people of the world to take swift and unified global action. So that is what's happening right now because of the coronavirus consequences. And, you know, I am someone who thinks that we should definitely take better care of the earth and be a lot more responsible with consumerism and all the choices we make. But, again, I think the way to go about it's an honest way, not to unleash a pandemic or to fearmonger everybody into believing there's a pandemic in the way that it's being done. But again, the point is to just see how this agenda comes together. So the encyclical dated May 24, 2015 was officially published at noon on June 18, 2015, accompanied by a news conference. The Vatican released the document in Italian, German, English, Spanish, French, Polish, Portuguese, and Arabic, alongside the original Latin. The encyclical is the second published by Francis after Lumen Fidei, the Light of Faith, which was released in 2013. Since Lumen Fidei was largely the work of Francis's predecessor, Benedict, Laudato Si is generally viewed as the first encyclical that is entirely the work of Francis. Okay, so I haven't run the Gematria on this on care for our common home. I just got to check real quick since that was something I looked over. I'll show you everything that I do know about it that's already interesting, but I just got to check. On care for our common home. On care for our common home. Well, look at that. 119, right? God, I see all sorts of things there. 119, well, the 263 is the 56th prime going to coronavirus and Society of Jesus. But on care for our common home, 119. Francis is 119. Vatican's 119. The 263, again, is the 56th prime. Coronavirus 56. We've uncovered a lot of riddles with 263 and 56 in the time we've been tracking everything. One of many is what we're ordered to do here in Washington State right now. Stay home, stay healthy, which is a 263. The 331 is the 67th prime number. Wuhan is 67. 67 is the 19th prime. COVID-19. So, and then 106 is a prophecy number. It's also an authority number. But okay. So that just adds to it. On care for our common home. And of course, Society of Jesus is 56. If you guys didn't notice before, that article I showed about his car being from 1984, that article was from September 11th, another 119 date. But okay, so again, May 24th, the 144th day of the year. The day that was put out was 158 days after Pope Francis's 79th birthday, because it was 2014. Or, excuse me. It was 2015. Did I screw this up? Oh, I did it. No, I have it right there. I don't know why. Never mind. I see what I did. Okay. So his 79th birthday was December 17th, 2014. So from that birthday to the day that this was published, May 24, 2015, was 158 days. Again, the Jesuits were formed on August 15th, 15/8, Melinda Gates' birthday, and he was 79 years old at the time. Society of Jesus, 79. And another 79 is Yeshua, the true name of Jesus. Yeshua is 79. And then from his birthday to the official publishing date, June 18th, was 183 days. That stands out because it was an encyclical, and the first one authored by him, encyclicals 183. But the Jesuit motto, just like the motto of the Scottish Rite, order out of chaos, 183. And think about it. They have this plan, right, to improve the caretaking of the planet. And in part, they're bringing that about right now through this coronavirus pandemic. So they're saying this is the silver lining of this whole thing, that the Earth is showing all these remarkable improvements, from the atmosphere patching up to, a number of other things that have been told in recent headlines. So, order out of chaos. Bring about a problem, but with a planned solution. And with regards to order out of chaos, the Latin Laudato Si is 60 like order. And from Pope Francis's most recent birthday to the day of Event 201, or I guess from Event 201 to Pope Francis's most recent birthday, was 60 days. So it's interesting how that lines up. It was also 8 weeks and 4 days, like Jesuits 84, like how he's born with the 84 birth numerology and currently living in his 84th year of his life. He'll turn 84 later this year. And again, this entire thing, his document, ties in with the ideals of Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, Jesuits 21. Notice Agenda 21 was published on April 23rd, which is typically the 113th day of the year. The pandemic was declared March 11th, 11/3, another date that can be expressed with a 113 connection. And again, Event 201, Agenda 21. Pope Francis with the 201 connection, just like all the other 201s that connect to the Jesuits where we began. Ignatius of Loyola, the Jesuit Order, all 201. William Henry Gates, 201. That the name of the encyclical Laudato Si, also just using the alphabetic order, is 102, which is the reflection of 201. And we've seen a lot of 102s encoded in what's going on right now. Social distancing's 102. Again, they're comparing this to Spanish flu. Of course, corona's a Spanish term, but Spanish flu began in 1918, 102 years before 2020. It was blamed on, or maybe blame's not the right word. They said Spanish flu came out of World War I. World War equals 102. A number of publications worldwide have referred to what we're going through as a world war against a virus. And that's what happens in time of world war. People have to ration. People have to make sacrifice. Life is impacted, changed dramatically. So, World War is another 102. Catholic Church has definitely played their part in the world wars. From the publishing date to March 11th, 2020 was 247 weeks. It was also 56 months and days for another 56, but the 247 weeks stands out for a number of reasons. First of all, where the Jesuits were formed, that location equals 247. And where the CDC is in Atlanta, Georgia equals 247. CDC is a huge part of this. Don't forget the CDC's on the 84th Meridian West, Jesuit 84. Their football team there, the Atlanta Falcons, we've talked about a lot with regards to the Jesuits. Their owner, Arthur Blank, his birthday is the same day as the Jesuits, September 27th. Pope Francis blessed the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 51, where the Falcons played the Patriots. Haven't seen Pope Francis bless any other Super Bowls. But again, Atlanta on the 84th Meridian West, Jesuit 84, the Falcons red and black like the Jesuit colors, Arthur Blank, the Jesuit birthday, the CDC headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. And don't forget that the CDC's birthday is July 1st, 7-1. Catholic equals 71, CDC equals 71. 71 is also the 20th prime, and here we are in 2020. I guess that factors in as well. The other big player city in this is Seattle, Washington, where the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is, another 247. And what's interesting is from Pope Francis's birthday to March 11th, the same day that we're saying, again, the day the pandemic was declared, which was 247 weeks after the publishing of this encyclical, from Pope Francis's birthday to March 11th, was 85 days, and Book of Revelation is 247 and 85. And again, March 11th can be 113, like Apocalypse is 113, which pertains to Book of Revelation. So, and again, it's also 12 weeks in one day, like Revelation's 121. Again, we covered all the 121s, with the first case being confirmed on January 21st, prior to the pandemic being declared. And don't forget that the World Health Organization on the 56th day of the year, which was February 25th, told us to prepare for pandemic. Again, all these things are documented on my website. So, Pope's 56, like Society of Jesus, like coronavirus. Don't forget, corona relates to the term for the solar eclipse, which relates to the sun in the sky, which is said to be 93 million miles away. And just for a reminder about the sun in the sky being 93 million miles away, in 2012, this was a popular story in science. Modern science tracks date of Jesus' crucifixion to April 3rd. So pretty much all mainstream media reported this in 2012, that science had thought they had figured out the date of Jesus' crucifixion, and they said it was April 3rd. And why does that matter? Because April 3rd is the 93rd day of the year in non-leap years. With regards to the date being written 4-3, like 43, Jesus Christ is 43. But in light of it being the 93rd day of the year, remember, God's Son is 93. Crucifix is 93. In the Bible, Jesus is crucified between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., 9 and 3. And Nazareth is 93. And to bring it back to what we're talking about now, Wuhan coronavirus has that 93. Corona, solar eclipse. So again, it's all riddle. It's a script following the scripture. And no doubt about it, the Catholic Church is at the head of it. And as a reminder, the final battle between good and evil, Harmegeddon, in Jewish Gematria is 201. The term Armageddon has Gematria of 82, like how a number of cities were put into lockdown or stay-at-home orders on the 82nd day of the year, March 22nd, which was something we predicted weeks in advance. One of many correct predictions for dates of things to expect by understanding the code. And of course, let's not forget that Revelation 13:18, that's where the infamous phrase about the number of the man, the number of the beast, 666. Let's not forget that Revelation's the book that gives us that verse. And we've seen all of the different 666 rituals, including Clade X, which was one of the pandemic exercises done by John Hopkins, which was done 666 days before the pandemic was declared. It was done on May 15th, 2018. Date that can be written 15/5, coronavirus 155, Christianity 155. Remember, the CDC was hiring people for quarantine coordinators in major cities in the U.S., a position that went from November 15th, 2019 to May 15th, 2020, another May 15th day. Clade X is 113, like Johns Hopkins University, like coronavirus pandemic, which was declared on 11/3, March 11th. And again, from that exercise to March 11th, 666 days. Corona's 66, like number of the beast, like New Testament, like Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. So Johns Hopkins, again, was one of the co-hosts of Event 201. And don't forget Microsoft, Bill Gates' former company. They got that patent that came out March 26th, 2020. The cryptocurrency that they inject your body with this technology that monitors your body activity, that generates cryptocurrency based on how much you're working. The patent number was W020200606606. And of course, computer 666, internet 666, $666, 1 Kings 10:14, the verse about Solomon's 666 talents of gold. Vaccinations got the 666 connection, same with mandatory. The date of that patent, a date with 49 numerology, Revelations 49, as is Washington State, where Microsoft is headquartered. Revelation 13:18 is a Greek isopsophy riddle. The Greeks wrote the New Testament. Isopsophy 666. Don't forget Bill Gates' name also has the 258 connection, like number of the beast. And his former company. This was this patent was also done on the 67-year anniversary of the polio vaccine by Jonas Salk. The 67-year anniversary. Wuhan 67. All this talk of vaccines right now. Bill Gates leading the way. Bill and Melinda Gates just financed the research at MIT. The injection that goes in with a vaccine that puts a computerized dye in your bloodstream that holds onto your medical records. So you just got to look at all these different pieces of the puzzle floating around. Now his former company has the technology of a cryptocurrency that can be injected into you. They're talking about making all currency digital. Again, building this surveillance state, tracking all things about your life, your location, your wealth, what you're spending every last penny on. Big banker agenda. From Bill Gates' birthday to the date that patent was filed, 151 days, pandemic equals 151. 151 is the 36th prime, 666 is the 36th triangular number. It's a cryptocurrency based on body activity. Just notice how body activity and coronavirus overlap in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. 155, 56, and 70. Again, March 26th, 263, the 56th prime. And again, you just got to think about it. Church, the entire purpose of the Catholic Church, the church in general, has always been to control. This entire agenda is about greater control. Everything they do is about greater and greater control over humanity. And with technology, it allows them to do, with each new technological advancement, what they couldn't do before. 9/11 was part of this agenda. This is definitely part of this agenda. So if you go back and watch the Event 201 simulation, you'll see that a number of pharmaceutical giants were attending that simulation of the coronavirus outbreak, and one of which was Johnson & Johnson, who's one of these pharmaceutical giants headquartered in New Jersey in the 201 area code. Again, New Jersey and New York, the 2 hardest hit states. Event 201 in New York, the pharmaceutical giants are across the river in New Jersey. I also see the other area code in New Jersey's 551 or 155 in reverse, another coronavirus number. The term biotechnology, I noticed, also had Gematria of 201. Biotech companies are there as well, so all fits in. It's essentially what's going on. And in case you guys got here late, again, just another show to check out on Netflix. Get a little more than 10 minutes into this episode, and you already see the familiar numbers being stamped. It's about a viral outbreak in a fictional town named Pretty Lake 56, like coronavirus. The first death toll number they give you in the show is 47. Of course, death toll's 47, signature numbered, like Event 201 was on the 47 date. A few seconds after they show you that, they show you building number 201. I should remind you that Event 201 was on the day leaving 74 days left in the year. The show name Between equals 74. And I haven't watched past the first episode, but if you got some free time, you want to help out, wouldn't mind if you watch the show and report back to me what you see. So just another one to check out. And again, it goes right in there with Containment, the show about the CDC conspiracy about unleashing a virus on the populace for experimentation purposes, which ended July 19th, 2016, a leap year, the 201st day of the year. Show's set in Atlanta, home of the CDC. And again, the man who coined the term corona in relation to solar eclipses, José Joaquín de Ferrer, who died at age 54, again, Jesuit Order 54. Sun equals 54, as in the sun in the sky, S-U-N. But his name has the Gematria of 96, like Freemason, like Corona, like how he's doing the hidden hand. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Bill Gates's name has the 96 in it too. Yeah, it does. Bill Gates' name is interesting in every cipher. And don't forget, I mean, this guy died May 18th, 1818, and this whole thing's been compared to Spanish flu. He was a Spanish astronomer. Spanish flu began in 1918. The event 201 simulation was on the 18th of October. The simulation lasts 18 months. 65 million die after 18 months in the simulation. This guy's name also 84, like Masonry, like Jesuit. In 201, like Jorge Mario Bergoglio. And the guy who coined the term corona, his name's actually the exact same as Bill Gates in all 4 ciphers. All 4, the exact same. Head in hand, the pose he's doing equals 71 like Catholic, 46 also like Catholic, 199 is the 46th prime, 53 is religion. This man died in Bilbao, Spain, 4671. Again, it just makes you wonder. Oh, by the way, where he coined the term corona, Kinderhook, New York. Kinderhook's 56 like coronavirus. Kinderhook, New York's got the 95 in it, like the Jesuits formed on the day, leaving 95 days left in the year. And just for a few more stories there in the headlines right now, you might have heard about this one. The security guard told a customer to put on a face mask, then he was shot to death. Notice how this happened at the Family Dollar store, right? Guess what Family Dollar equals? 56 and 70, just like coronavirus. 3 people were charged with his murder. We've seen a number of 3 related stories with coronavirus. We've talked about this quite a few times now. When you write out 3, it's 56 as well. And they said the man who was killed was 43 years old. As we know, pandemic's 43. This happened in Michigan, reportedly May 1st, 2020, a date with 46 numerology. Michigan 46. Chaos 46. Virus 46. Microsoft 46. Don't ever forget Bill Gates' mugshot routine when he was a young person down in New Mexico 46 days after his birthday in Albuquerque, where Microsoft was founded. The people blamed for the killing are black. I see a racial narrative here. Face mask has that gematria. 59 like Negro, like slave, like Rasta, like blues. Racially divisive propaganda tied in with the coronavirus pandemic. They saved this story for 3 days after it supposedly happened. May 4th, 2020, which was a date with 49 numerology. Face mask is 49. So, there's more encoding of the same old in the coronavirus stories. And then another racially divisive story. 33-year-old Donnie Wright assaulted by police for not social distancing. And notice his name, Donnie Wright, the way they spell it equals the same thing as social distancing. This was also in the headlines on May 4th, the same day as the story we just covered. And again, race is the focus. This reportedly happened Saturday, May 2nd, 2020, which was a date with 47 numerology. Racist is 47. Policeman 47. Cop 47. Authority 47. The list goes on. Government 47, but that's the story. Cop at center of viral social distancing bust has cost the city money. And his name, Donnie, also has gematria of 25. This happened on May 2nd. Date can be written 2/5 like 25. The story was reported May 4th. The date can be written 4/5. Racism 45. The NYPD at the center of the story. NYPD 49. 49 date numerology. And in light of him being 33 years old, reminds of Rodney King getting beaten on March 3rd, 3-3 by the LAPD, which equals 33, Race Wars 33, Police 33, Masonry 33, Federal 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33. Back in 2015 when they had so many racially divisive stories with police, they coded 33 into pretty much all of them. They said that the NYPD officer put his knee on Donnie's neck. The neck, the part of the body that sums to 33. Again, Donnie said to be 33 years old. That name Donnie also has gematria 56. And it's weird spelling, isn't it? D-O-N-N-I. I mean, who spells their name like that? Donnie 56 like coronavirus. It's like more news by the numbers. Donnie Wright, 33. So, and then again, Key Model now has essentially doubled the number of projected deaths from coronavirus. They're saying in June we could have as many as 3,000 deaths per day on average. This story last night from CNN, you can see the 2203 right up there, 223, infamous number. And again, novel coronavirus 223, the Synagogue of Satan 223, Philadelphia 223. Again, a letter written to the Church of Philadelphia in Revelation about the Synagogue of Satan. Masonic and Jewish Gematria is 223. And with regards to the 134,000, again, 134, it's a number that connects to Tisha B'Av, the day to remember tragedy in the Jewish faith. This year, Tisha B'Av falls on July 29th, which is International Tiger Day, the day leaving 155 days left in the year, coronavirus 155. This number 134 is always connected to Tisha B'Av. You might recall last year we covered Epstein's death on the weekend of Tisha B'Av. And the New York Times ran that story about the, what was it, like the medical, I forget what it was. Some person who like oversees the type of incident that Epstein was involved in. But their footage of the guy rolling up, he shows up in car number 134, and then the camera just stays on car 134 for like 2 minutes. I was like, what do you think the New York Times is trying to show you here with the 134 on Tisha B'Av? In light of how much I've taught you guys about 134 and Tisha B'Av. So just remember that this year, Tisha B'Av falls on July 29th, International Tiger Day. Just like how they're giving you all this tiger symbolism with the coronavirus. Don't forget that in Jewish Gematria, tiger equals 201. And just to remind you of just one of the several 201 encoded tiger stories, Tiger Woods enjoys Masters Championship dinner quarantine style 201, like Tiger 201 in Jewish. Don't forget the Nadia the tiger, the first non-human diagnosed with coronavirus. This was in New York, but the location, the Wildlife Conservation Society, 155, like coronavirus is 155. And let me see. I thought I put it here. Well, I'll just show you real quick. International Tiger Day. Wednesday, July 29th, right? July 29th, that's the same day Tisha B'Av falls on this year. And it is the day leaving 155 days left in the year. And you know what else I just realized? In non-leap years, it's the 210th day of the year, which is also interesting because it's a slight revision of 201, but Wuhan coronavirus does have that 210 in it. So I think that's all I got for now, Truth Seeker. If anybody wants to phone in, anything to add, anything to look into, let me, I see the phone's on airplane mode, so let me fix that. Okay, airplane mode is now off. If anybody wants to call in, the number is 509-731-0567. Again, 509-731-0567. Again, you got anything to add, any questions, anything for me to research? Happy to take those calls now. And let me see, we've been on for just over an hour, huh? So, well, somebody started to call in and then they hung up right away. So I don't know what went wrong there. I see we got a couple super chats. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Mr. Fabrice. And we got Illinois phoning in. Illinois, you're on.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
You're good. Just want to add to the riddle here with that Inferno movie with Tom Hanks and how it syncs up with Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That came out on Bill Gates' 61st birthday. It's 2 hours and 1 minute long.
Exactly. But on the trailer for that movie, if you go to, in that trailer at 2 minutes and 1 second, like 2:01, it's Tom Hanks running through a station and in the background, it's terminal 8 and 9, like August 9th. So if you go from his birthday to August 9th is the 222nd day of the year. Just like all the 222 surrounding events, 021. And,
so we have to make sure we find the right trailer, because usually there's multiple trailers for each movie.
Yeah, it's the main one on IMDb.
Oh, on IMDb?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if I can get away with showing it without them taking it down for copyright. I've actually had I didn't get a strike, but one time they took down a video for showing a trailer, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, isn't a trailer an advertisement? I mean, come on.
I know, right?
It's just because they look for any excuse to take down these videos, so.
Right. So it's from his birthday to August 9th, which is the 222nd day. It's 2 months and 20 days, like coronavirus pandemic, and it's also 11 weeks and 3 days, like coronavirus pandemic. 1 and 3.
Huh. Okay.
And it's also 81 days, and Inferno is 81.
So again, you're saying this trailer right on the IMDb. So if I click this play and I would pause it right at 2:01, we're going to see what again?
You're going to see Tom Hanks running through the terminal at a train station, and in the background it says 89. There's 2 numbers, clear as day, 89.
Virus is 89, so that stands out right away.
Yeah. So, but from August 9th to Bill Gates' birthday, all these numbers are adding up. The movie with the pandemic, and it's got date numerology of 144, like Dante's Inferno and Mark of the Beast.
Yeah. I got it up on the screen. Yeah, it's a great observation. So there it is, the 8-9, and again, virus is 89, and that's the whole plot of this movie: is that a billionaire is unleashing a virus to depopulate the world, just like Bill Gates. A billionaire who wants to depopulate the world, and again, it came out on Bill Gates' 61st birthday, where Year of the Rat 61. The phrase "a global pandemic 61," which was the motto for Event 201. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I actually started my own channel because of your work. So, if anybody wants to check out Reality Rigged on YouTube, that's where I'm at. Reality
Rigged. Is it all one word or?
2 words. Reality Rigged.
Okay. Checking it out.
Yeah, man. But I bought your book, and I've been studying your stuff for a while.
Is it the Mr. Potato Head?
No. You gotta scroll down.
That's Rigged Reality. Oh, Reality Rigged with the RR?
Yeah, it's in green.
I see it. I just subscribed. All right. I'm subscribed.
Awesome, man. But, yeah, like I said, I bought your book. I've been reading it ever since, and just studying the news every day. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. All
right,
man.
I'll let you go, and have a good one, man.
All right, appreciate it.
All right,
take care. See you. This Rig Reality is somebody who follows us too, because this is the dude who called in and pointed this out right here. This predictive programming for the Super Bowl. I'm subscribed to him too. What's up, caller?
What's up, Zach?
Hey, what's up, man?
I seen the Jay-Z. I remember he had this shirt that said "Go Home" on it when he released the Magna Carta Holy Grail album. And just so happened he has a track named "Crown" on it.
Jay-Z, is this something I can look up? Go Home T-shirt? Do you think it's gonna pull up?
No, just on YouTube, type in Magna Carta Holy Grail commercial, and it's a commercial with him, Timberland, and Pharrell.
Well, that all makes sense because the Holy Grail is a big thing with the Knights Templar. So
yeah, and the Magna Carta,
right?
It's like a historic document.
All right, yeah, indeed. Magna Carta, Jay-Z, Holy Grail. Did you say commercial?
Yeah, it's a commercial. And I remember watching this album came out like 6 years ago. I remember watching the commercial, like, why does this shirt say "Go Home"? Like, who? And then now it makes sense. Like, oh, go home. Got you.
I can see it here on this. It's the one with the Samsung commercial. Okay.
Yeah, and then remember with that album, China released the album for free to all the Android users for like certain information in their phone. So I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
And then like check out Wikipedia, cause like Wikipedia Magna Carta Holy Grail album, and then check out the track list. And he has a track named Crown.
Sure, and Corona means crown. Okay.
Right.
Is that the same? Is that the album that the song's on with Kanye West? No Church in the Wild.
No, that's Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting music video. That one. It might have some predictive programming in it too. Okay. All right, I'll do some more research on this. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Thanks, man. Caller.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Did you cover the Eminem thing? Music to be quarantined by?
Well, I knew the music to be murdered by. Now there's a music to be quarantined by.
Yeah, well, type in Eminem's album, music to be murdered by. It equals 222. And then if you go on Google and you type in music to be quarantined by, you go to the images. He has the face mask on. He got the little medical mask on.
Huh.
Burn, dude.
Is this something he put out recently, like an update?
Yeah, I seen it on Facebook, but I did I checked it out, and it all checks out on the calculator. And music, let me see, I'm in front of my computer. Music, quarantine by. Where is it?
So Eminem will host a 3-hour-long special, music to be quarantined by, featuring hip-hop songs. Yeah.
It's just funny because he got the mask on, but the name of his original album is Music to be Murdered by, which equals 222. So I just found it kind of funny, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, yeah, I figured I'd throw that in to you guys.
Okay. So he just did this May 2nd, so he just did it Saturday.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and I'll look at that some more because he's done a lot of stuff by the numbers.
Absolutely.
So I see it, with the mask.
There's another thing too on Facebook. I looked it up. It said that it's debunked, but the whole Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I guess someone photoshopped a thing called Center for Global Human Population Reduction. I guess it's not a real photo, but they must be trolling us because the thing is how come in keypad that equals 201? Now, I know those are like ciphers that we don't really ordinarily use and stuff.
Say it again. What equals 201 with that keypad cipher?
Okay, so it's Center for Global Human Population Reduction.
That's not a real thing, though, right?
Yeah, well, it's in keypad. I mean, it's not like a main cipher that we use, but the thing is it's like...
But I'm saying the thing that you're typing in is not a real thing.
Oh, all right, cool.
Where did that name come from?
I don't know. I seen it on Facebook, and I looked it up, and I seen that it wasn't really a real thing, but I still figured that, someone obviously made it up to either troll the community or,
Sure. No, I know what you're saying, so...
Yeah, that's basically what I meant.
Okay.
But all right, yeah, check out that whole thing with his mask and the 222 thing.
I will.
All right,
Yeah, I'll look into it. All right, appreciate it, man.
Later.
And just since he brought up Eminem again, I just want to remind people about this in case they didn't see me cover it earlier this year. So Eminem released this music video, Darkness, which was in tribute to the Vegas shooting, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting. And again, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting was October 1st, 2017, the day leaving 91 days left in the year. Route 91 on the day leaving 91 days left in the year. But notice Darkness equals 91, and that came out 91 days after Eminem's birthday. And if you haven't seen that music video, it's got federal government propaganda all over it, calling for gun confiscation. What's up, caller?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey.
So I was watching you live, and I noticed you mentioned the situation with the cop sitting on top of the guy, Donnie, what was his last name? Donnie what?
Right.
All right, now, the thing is, that happened right across the street from my house. I've seen it. So, I didn't see that specific part, like where that happened, but I've seen the aftermath, and I have it on camera. I've seen, like, after you seen the video, they were arresting somebody else. So I seen the rest of what they did with that person, and now that situation, he was just walking. Like the police were arresting a guy and a girl, and accused them of not social distancing and whatever. But there's surveillance that shows that they were social distancing, so they were wrong. But they were arresting them, and then the guy, Donnie Wright, if that's even his real name, because maybe the media made that up, I don't know. But he was walking, and the police, the officer just targeted him and just provoked him, and then like put his stun gun away, and then that's when like they got into the thing, and then he slammed him to the ground, slapped him up, punched him, and all of that. If you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't understand. I mean, I don't get how like his name matches up with everything you said. Like,
because the whole thing's essentially choreographed. It's like a contrived incident to make the story.
But I get that, but that happened in my life. Like, that was right across the street. I have footage. Like I said, I have exclusive footage.
Right. So you happen to be in the spot where they did the ritual at. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times these things that they're done, but they're planned and that they're made to, for the agenda, for the news cycle.
I definitely agree that the police look like they were on a drill. Like, I definitely believe the police were on an agenda. But I don't believe the innocent bystander who was slammed to the ground and punched. I don't believe he was a part of it. I just think that's a coincidence. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying everything that the media contrives is a coincidence. I'm saying that got to be a coincidence. Because, like I said, that's right across the street from my house. I've seen it.
Sure. I don't doubt that, but anything's possible. It could be a coincidence, but it's always the same numbers. Everything's always perfectly coded out, so I would imagine it was more of a performance.
I would look more into the officer. His name was something Garcia. I would look more into him because he has like 8 lawsuits against him already that he's lost, and even more pending. And now even he's definitely going to have more lawsuits on him.
Sure.
So
yeah,
if I would, to match up the story or the numbers, because like I said, that guy, he was just random.
Well, it's possible. Somehow these people always end up being 33 years old.
The police are on the agenda because it's been happening a lot around in New York City. Just police just harassing low-income like areas and everything, like Black and Hispanic people.
Sure.
Regular.
Sure.
But I'm gonna let you go.
All right, appreciate the heads up. Thanks, man. So this from Eminem's 47th birthday to his music to be quarantined by, which was May 2nd, 2020, a date with 47 numerology. It was his 199th day of his age, which stands out because that's the 46th prime. Virus is 46, Rap's 46. But he's had some good rituals lately, Eminem, especially the Darkness music video, and then recently the song with Juice WRLD, the rapper who recently died by the numbers. Same rapper who said he was going to fake his death. But this song came out 86 days after Juice WRLD's death. Godzilla 86, the name of the song. Hey, what's up, man?
I think you covered it all, my.
Say that again. You broke up a little bit. What is it?
Huh?
You broke up there. I didn't hear it.
Oh, let me take you off of this speaker or put you on. I think you covered it all, man.
Covered a lot.
I don't think you missed anything. Hey, something I did notice when I was looking at that horse race, the secretary. Did you see what number secretary it was? What number they had him in the virtual race?
Oh, you mean in what lane?
Yes.
I didn't. What was it?
Lane 3.
Lane 3, huh? Nice.
How perfect, huh?
Right.
And 3, you just mentioned 3 equals 56, but it also equals 25, and you showed how that was a big time
right.
ritual.
3's 56, like Kentucky Derby's 56, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And then, of course, they're connecting everything together, so just like with Shula dying 121 days from his birthday. And I saw also where, perfect equals 73, how you pointed that out.
Right.
You see how many games he played in the NFL?
don't tell me 73.
70 fucking 3.
Of course he did. I realize that the reason this work doesn't reach more people, well, I guess I've always realized this, but it's just like they're too dumb. I just always watching people watch my videos and then leave some critical comment. They're like, what is the point of this? It's like, God, if you have to ask that after the video I just put out, I mean, just like...
I swear to God, man, that Talmud, I would have never believed it until you actually witnessed for your own eyes. I'm sorry, people are fucking dumb. I'm sorry. People keep trying to tell them, oh, no, it's not people are dumb. They're programmed, but at the same time, I was programmed, too. How was I able to get out of it, Zach? You know why? Because I knew I was fucking being lied to. I just didn't know how they were lying to me.
Right.
I mean, these fucking people, you should have seen him, the one guy, a Miami fan all the way, and I sent him the video you did on that, on the Shura, and then I went in there and I just fucking hammered it at him again. I'm like, dude, what are you not seeing here? And of course they're not going to see some of the other stuff. You can just see obviously how scripted these people's entire lives are. I guarantee you, his draft pick too. The guy was drafted in the ninth round, pick 110. I guarantee you that wasn't an accident. But you can't even try to show anybody that. I mean, I'm just pointing them out. Look at this. Perfect equals 73. 47 years from that, and then 2 days later, they have another 47 story. You have Secretariat in 73, just Triple Crown, right? And then 2 days later, they have another fucking 47 ritual with Don Shula, a legend.
Well, and then that same day,
Brian, who was a legend.
Even that country singer girl, her name's 47, dead on the 47 date numerology, and then they blame it on mental health, and mental health's 47.
And I didn't even see that. I only saw the sports-related shit. I didn't even see the other story. We know they tie it all together, though. The whole entire thing is a complete fucking joke. All of it's theater. You just covered it with the Jesuits and the Catholics. And, no, these are the people behind it. These are the people playing God over you. I remember when I was a young kid, I heard that commonly put out there. But, the people saying it didn't really know it. They didn't understand it. They just heard it. Why was it put out there? There's people playing God over you. That's who these people are. And you've exposed them, man. You fully exposed them and how they're doing it. And it's just so frustrating that these fucking dumb people can't see this, don't want to see it. Even when you show it to them, they can't deny it, but they don't want to see it anymore. It's like they want to cover their eyes up, man. I don't get this shit at all. I can't get people anymore. It just doesn't make any sense to me, man.
You're actually one of the best living proofs of just how much cognitive dissonance there are, because you're one of the biggest winners from this knowledge. I mean, you've been dominating the bookies.
The guy that came in, I ain't seen him in 2 years, man. And, I've run this stuff across him, and he doesn't deny it. He just doesn't. He just is not as interested in learning it like I am, but he's definitely receptive to hearing it. He came over to the case today and talked to me for a few minutes. I was laughing at him. I'm like, dude, don't you have a fucking immune system? He's got the mask on. He's trying to grab every little bit of alcohol or hand sanitizer that they got in there. He's fucking grabbing wipes out of a fucking, out of the shit. This is stupid, dude. Every fucking route in my station, and I know they probably did this everywhere, they all gave us all this shit, Zach. We've got a hand sanitizer, a little dispenser. It's got your fucking house number on it. They did this with all this shit.
Right. Yeah.
It's just this is so fucking pathetic. Then I wake up this morning, my wife's always got, some mainstream shit on, right? And that's fine. I don't care, I mean, I woke her up a little bit, but I don't push it with, you just know where you have to draw the line with this shit. I don't have any fucking sympathy for men in society, though. They're the biggest fucking cowards and pussies. Most men are. It's obvious. And this is exposing them for what they are,
Sure.
It really does. But I wake up and they're telling us all this shit. They're programming us on what they're doing for our health and safety. How all these restaurants and all this shit that's opening up now, how they're taking all these measures to make sure, but they're also for sure to tell you that in places like Korea, they're checking your fever. So what do you fucking think's going to happen here? They're going to really, you people have no fucking rights at all. That's where this is all going. You mean to tell me, now, for me to go in your place of business, you don't fucking check to make sure I got a fever or not? Fuck you people. Just like me, I ain't going to no Costco anymore. You're going to make me wear a mask? You're not getting my money. Fuck you. Fuck you. I mean,
Right.
that's the only thing I can do. That's the only way I can fight back with this. There's not a whole lot else we can do. You know, because most of the people around you, they don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. They think they know something about fucking nothing. All they do is talk about fucking shit that the cabal just puts in front of them every day. It's just shit. You know, it's just disgusting. They don't want to see it, man.
Sure. And for all the people out there...
And this should open their eyes up. This shit should open their eyes up.
Right. I was going to say, for all the people out there who, like, for people who don't know, this gentleman flew from Arizona to join me in the streets of Seattle to raise awareness about Event 201. And for all of you who are saying, well, I'd like to do things like that, but I can't afford it, this man flew up to Seattle and left Seattle with more money in his pocket than he came out there with because he took advantage of the rigged UFC fight that went on that Saturday. And I don't know, I'd say your trip probably cost, what, $400, $500, and you went home with nearly $2,000, so...
Yeah, man, and I'm going to keep doing it because until this system is brought down, they're going to continue to do this stuff.
Exactly.
You know,
so I'm just telling people, again, this knowledge will allow you to do things that you couldn't do before. You'll see more truth. You can take advantage of the rigged sports.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, it's the most amazing power. I mean, people that I grew up with, that I had respect for because, you know, intellectually, I mean, maybe they, you know, went further and, you know, in secondary education and that type of stuff. You know, they did really well in school. For me, you know, I mean, I got my grades. I struggled, though. I had to work. You know, things didn't come easy to me. Knowing this information that you taught me, dude, these fucking people are joking me anymore. I don't even want to fucking talk to them. And I told you about the guy on Twitter, a guy I knew from high school. You know, this is a guy that finished second in an all-boys Catholic high school. He went to the Naval Academy, he had a full ride. He could have went to Notre Dame. I mean, these are the type of people that don't get this shit. And these are the ones that our society says, oh, these are the smart people. These are the ones that, you know, we should look up to. No, these people are tools like the rest of them. They're all caught up in the same shit. It's all shit, you know? And we're out here looking at it, just exposing it. The shit they're talking about, we can just sit there and pick at the fucking pieces. When you know this, you just pick it all apart. You pick the whole entire story apart. Because whatever the, you know, all these goyim are talking about and discussing, it's all shit that they put in front of them by this code. So we can just pick it apart now because we know it. It's like we're in their little fucking secret society because you figured it out how they were doing it. So that's all I can do, man. I just thank you. I can't thank you enough, Jack. I mean, I would never regret this, even though I've lost a lot of friends from this. I have people that won't fucking talk to me. I don't care. I don't fucking care because I know I'm right. And this power of knowing this is more important to me than some of these friendships. You know, I'm not going to lose my fucking marriage over it, but it's more important than these other friendships. You know, if people want to be that way, then so be it. You know, I'm not going to fucking pretend. Yeah, how do you know this and then pretend like it doesn't exist anymore? You know, that's hard. I mean, I remember the stories too because I don't have Facebook and shit like that. But some of these guys would be on there, and you know, my wife was on there, and they'd be asking her, "Oh, what's wrong with Al?" Ain't nothing fucking wrong with Al. Al's fucking eyeballs are open. You guys are, you know, still want to be asleep. You still want to be in that fucking matrix because it's comfortable. Yeah. But what this gives you is power. I mean, it's like, you know, who can call these games like some of these games like this? You know, it's just, you can't do it unless you know this or predict some of the stuff that's been predicted before. I mean, when I first ran into it, I can't even count how many times you predicted people's deaths, championships, MVPs. I mean, it's just, the list it's endless. You get one wrong or you're wrong about one thing. Oh, fuck you. It ain't scripted. Just how these fuckers, I remember that the other office I worked at, it's when you called the Giants and the Colts. And at that station, I just caught heat for that because, you know, that was who I picked. And I wasn't going to change. I was like, just let it ride out, you know. But it's like, fine, y'all don't want to see it. And then I show them these fucking parlays where I'm, you know, hitting 8 and 10 teams in one parlay. I'm like, who fucking does that? And y'all should know, for me, too, because I dabbled in gambling before I knew about this. Never in my life have I ever hit anything like that, and I've done it countless times now, Zach. Countless times. I can't even count how many times I've hit parlays of 5 teams or more. That's unheard of unless you know this.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's so stupid.
There was a week earlier this year where you did something that nobody will do in their lifetime. I mean, you turned $5 into what, over 3,000, and then you turned 25 into over 10,000.
So that one weekend, I turned like $125 into for $13,000, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So what? If I lost, I lost. I lost $125. You know how long it would take me to lose all that money if I just stick with the same system, which I do. And that's pretty much what I do. Occasionally, I might put a straight bet, get a little risky, and maybe put a few $100s on something that looks really good. But, I mean, literally, it would take me a long time to just keep betting like that to lose all that back.
Right.
You know, I'll always be more ahead of the game at this.
Right.
Always.
That's what this knowledge...
Even when you're wrong, if you're smart with this, you'll lose money. Like the Super Bowl, I didn't lose money at the Super Bowl, even though I didn't hit the big bet this year. I'm not going to lose. It's because with this knowledge, it gives you that edge that nobody else has. So, you can narrow it down. They don't know. Like you look at a season, you could look at next season, you can narrow it down to like 3 or 4 or 5 teams. Nobody else can fucking do that. If they do, they're just guessing. It's a guessing game.
Sure.
Not with this.
Sure.
With this, you actually have it's, I don't know. You know me. I don't need to fucking preach this shit anymore. It's just, people are not going to get it. I just don't get it, man. It does not make sense at all. I guess this is where we're at.
It is.
People know about this that never even spoke about it.
It is. It is why where we're at. I got people bitching at me for the video I did yesterday. They're like, Dr. Shiva gives out good information on vitamin C. It's just like, holy fucking shit, man. Good information on vitamin C. What am I, 2 years old? I mean, I've known about vitamin C since I had diapers on. I mean...
What was it about vitamin C?
Yeah, that's all Dr. Shiva talks about, taking your vitamins. And it's just like, oh, that's what's going to expose the agenda, taking your vitamins. You're right. He's not here and part of the agenda, Dr. Shiva, who's telling you to take your vitamins and believe in the political system. It's just, people are so dumb. They don't see the value in what we're teaching.
They really are, man. And I get tired of people calling up and wanting to argue that, oh, no, they're really not dumb. No, shut the fuck up. Yes, people are fucking dumb. If you can't look at one fucking goddamn number and see how they repetitively are using it in every goddamn fucking story again and again. No, you're fucking dumb. You're dumb. I'm sorry. You're dumb. I mean, you call it. I mean, what's cognitive dissonance is a nice way of saying, oh, I just want to decide to be a fucking retard, right? I mean, that's really what it amounts to. I want to be a fucking retard. So we'll call it cognitive dissonance. We'll put a prettier light on it. What the fuck, man? It's really a joke, dude. It really is, man.
It is a joke.
And I feel your frustration. When I first started listening, you were already here. You've been here for years. I mean, it probably took me 2 or 3 years. I knew they were doing it, but then and see, that's the thing. Anybody that watches this stuff and they're on the fence, you have to apply it yourself. Once you apply it yourself, you see the entire picture of it. You'll see everything. And that's all it is. You have to look at it yourself. You can sit there and watch your videos and read the book, and yeah, you're going to understand it, but you need to do it yourself. That's the only way you're going to truly see how scripted it all is.
Indeed. And like you said a couple minutes ago, this knowledge it puts you ahead of the game, and that's exactly what it does. So
there's nothing ever, man, like nothing ever. That's why nobody else in the supposed truth community is fucking talking about it. The only people that talk about this are people that you talk to. That's it. Nobody else talks about it. None of these big channels, none of them. And if they do, they're going to make it look kind of silly. They're not really going to teach it to you the way it needs to be taught. Because if it's taught the way you taught it, you can see through every goddamn fucking story these people put out. Everything that they put out, you see right through all of it.
Yeah, and it's amazing they won't talk about it, but at the same time, all these channels that have the big audiences, they've never been deleted, and all the stuff they talk about is mostly bullshit, so...
It just proves more how controlled all this shit is, man. What do you got, like, essentially 5 powerful families that run all media, and they control YouTube, too. And even to a certain degree, they're controlling you because they delete your shit. How many times have they deleted your shit? And when they do it even by this numerical code. So it's all them. Even though, you're spilling the beans on all this shit, they're still trying to control you. Even though they can only do it to a certain degree right now, they're still trying to control you. And that's what I think made this thing not really take off. It really shows what kind of control they have that at this point, that we're this far in the game, you've been talking about this, going on 7, 8 years now, Zach, and this thing hasn't exploded like it has, that more people aren't bringing it up or even discussing it? That tells you how much they control and how much they monitor you and everything else that's going on.
And it's that,
because if they weren't, it would be out there.
It's that, and it's the fact that the populace, it's that United States of amnesia. Because there were times when, again, April to June of 2017, it seemed like it was right about to really take off, and then I got deleted. And then September of 2018, it was really starting to take off again, and then they put the clamps down, and all of a sudden we couldn't get any views. So I think once they start making it so it doesn't show up in people's feed, they just forget about it, because they're probably subscribed to 50 other channels, and there's just so much to keep up with, and they just forget. So. Yep.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I heard something coming through your phone.
Yeah, I just had a customer actually walk up to me and ask me if I desired some type of A95 mask. No, thank you. I'm fine. Fucking man. You see, I don't have a fucking sign on my vehicle even that says "Stay 6 feet away." They told all the carriers that they need to put this yellow sign on their vehicle that says "Stay 6 feet away." I ain't doing it. You fucking want it on there? You fucking put it on there. I'm not putting your bullshit on there, and I'm not wearing your shit either.
Sure.
I ain't doing it, man. Fuck these people. This is a problem, man. People just do what they're told to do without even asking questions.
Well, that is the problem. People are very obedient. They don't question much.
It is, man. And this really exposes it for what it is. I mean, you've been talking about it for some time. Now, all the stuff you've been saying, Zach, it's all coming to fruition. It's like, wow, look how, dumb these people really are. Just walking zombies out, just being told to do exactly what they're told to do. Not questioning shit. None of it.
Indeed.
All right, man. I've said enough, dude, but anyways. All right, brother. I'm going to get off of here, man.
All right. Be safe out there, man. You have a good day.
Hey, I will.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
all right, yeah, when we had that protest in Seattle, 3 of the people who came from out of state were all from Arizona. Him, and then Chico came. Chico brought his mother, too, which was cool. And then we had a gentleman fly it from L.A. So out of the 20-some people that came out that week, 3 were from entirely different states. I guess technically all West Coast, but still. Not bad. Caller? Yeah, you're on.
Yo, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, okay. How's it going, Zach?
It's going well. How are you?
Good, man. Doing good. Appreciate everything. Appreciate the Gematria school as well. I don't know if y'all talked about Nicolas Cage and the Tiger King.
Did you say Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, and Tiger King.
Well, I knew about Tiger King, the show, but I don't think I knew about Nicolas Cage. How's that factor in?
Yeah, they just released something yesterday or today, something about making like a sitcom or a movie type of thing with Nicolas Cage.
Huh. Okay.
Playing Tiger King or whatever.
Okay. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. Nicolas Cage is on a lot of movies that have a lot of, symbols and all that stuff.
Interesting. All right, I'll have to look more into that. Yeah, I see that Variety broke the news yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks for the heads up.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Caller?
Exactly. Can you hear me?
I hear you. What's up?
What's up, man? Hey, listening to the live stream you put on today, man, brought a couple of things to my mind. I want to jump off to you real quick. Now, you notice when I call in, I typically bring up the 13 moon calendar.
Of course.
And just to recap, the number 121 looks a lot like the date January 21st. January 21st falls on the 7th moon and the 12th day on the 13th moon calendar.
Okay.
That can also be expressed as the 12th moon of the 12th day of the 7th month. Now, check this out, man. I just wanted to preface that. January 21st, a lot like the number 121, falls on the 7th moon and the 12th day. which can also be expressed as the 12th day of the 7th moon. Now check this out, man. You just brought it to my attention earlier on the live stream that Melinda Gates' birthday is August 15th.
Right.
If you search for August 15th on the 13 moon calendar, you will find that it falls on the first moon and the 21st day, a lot like the number 121. Now, what's interesting about that is, okay, now her birthday falls on 121, the first moon and the 21st day, right?
Right.
This is the symmetry. This is the symmetry I want to break down. Now, as of the first moon and the 21st day, there's exactly 12 moons and 7 days left on the calendar. Now, let me rewind this for 1 second. Now, January 21st falls on the 7th moon and the 12th day. The first moon and the 21st day, which looks a lot like January 21st, leaves 12 moons and 7 days left in the calendar.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about that is the 12th moon and the 7th day is June 5th, the day that we write 6/5, or can be expressed 5/6. So Melinda Gates' birthday is August 15th. August 15th lands on the first moon in the 21st day, a lot like the number 121. The first moon in the 21st day leaves 12 moons and 7 days left on the calendar. The 12th moon in the 7th day is June 5th, 5/6 or 6/5. And for the last few weeks, you've been breaking it down how the number 65 and 56 relates to Melinda Gates and their marriage, and it's just ridiculous, man, how it all breaks down on the 13 moon calendar. So
That's very interesting. Yeah.
that's pretty much all I got for today, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Can you guys believe how old Nick Cage is? Nick Cage is 56 years old at the time of this, man, for just one more 56. Oh, man, it never fails. Oh, my God. But, yeah, the 13 moon calendar observations are interesting, too, because, again, the 19-year cycle is all synced up with the moon, and it is all date and time related, so... But Nick Cage, 56 years old, tiger symbolism everywhere, 56. I'm just thinking May 4th was 125th day of the year, so it was Nick Cage's 119th day of his age that the news broke. What's up, caller?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm doing good. Doing real good.
That's good.
There's a relationship between Johns Hopkins and the Jesuit Order that should be looked at.
Okay.
Johns Hopkins University is renowned for their Division I NCAA men's lacrosse team. They've won. There's only one other team that's won more championships than them. It's Syracuse.
Okay.
Lacrosse was a game that was a Native American game called the Gataway, or Little Brother of War.
Okay.
And the Jesuits basically, they codified it into a game called lacrosse. The reason why it's called lacrosse is because the stick looks like a bishop's across the air.
I see. Okay. That's interesting.
And it's predominantly played in the Eastern Seaboard schools and very high, most competitive colleges and universities. So, just thought I'd give you that insight.
I appreciate that. I'll look more into it. There's some interesting. By
the way,
go ahead.
today I turned 56.
Today's what?
Today I turned 56.
Oh, well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. May 5th, huh? You know what? It's been 1 year. My grandma passed away a year ago today.
Yeah, I remember you.
I remember you speaking about that.
And 15 years ago today, I graduated from. Well, I didn't graduate, but it was my last exam. I'll always remember it because it was 555. Finished college.
Yeah.
15 years ago today. Yeah.
And if you were in Arizona, they were probably celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Or some form of it.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, man. And yeah, I'll look into that. It makes sense too, because Johns Hopkins is right there next to Washington D.C. Used to be.
Yeah, they have a real badass lacrosse program, and they really play a good version of the game. But that game was derived from the Jesuits codifying it from Native Americans, especially Iroquois and Algonquin tribes.
All right, I'll have to research that. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, take care. Okie dokie. Happy birthday to him. 56, huh? Perfect. Perfect timing. So I'm thinking he must have been born in 1964. Yeah, 1964. Let me check in with the chat here real quick. All right, I didn't get to finish thanking people for the super chat, so thank you, Gary. Gary donated and said, thanks for the afternoon live stream. We appreciate it. Appreciate you, Gary. And Mr. Febreze, again, he donated. He said, every live stream I'm giving back. You don't have to do that, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Says he's hoping to start a trend. And then Alex, who built us the Discord, he's being super generous. He's contributing to the community and donating money. Thank you, Alex. He donated again. He said, watch We Live in Public. I got a link if anyone needs. It shows the creation of the internet and an underground New York City surveillance simulation. So watch We Live in Public. All right, I'm going to check that out in a second. Miss Mildred, who's always super generous. Thank you again, Miss Mildred. She donated. She said, the CTR for population reduction came from a doctored viral image of Gates Foundation building. I see. Okay, I see. And Dancing Israeli says, so Candace Owens getting 4464 after the CV19 tweet. Are you saying Candace Owens might need to look out? I'll have to look into that. She's a chosen shill for Donald Trump. And Byron Scott says, Zach just tuned in. A mutant coronavirus story I found. Virus and mutant. 7337 may be worth a look. They are saying it is more contagious than the original strain. Okay, so let me try to put these stories up here. So this, and let's see, mutant coronavirus. Okay, so this is coming out today. The coronavirus has mutated and appears to be more contagious now, new study finds. What's interesting about today is today's a span of 201 days from event 201. Tomorrow's 201 days after. This seems like more like the kind of headline I would have expected for tomorrow, 5-6. We'll see what they give us tomorrow. Caller, what's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi. I was hoping if I could direct your attention to an article I wrote on Free to Find Truth. If you could pull that up real quick.
Did you just post it?
Actually, I posted about, it was like 2 days ago, but it's called Eye of the Tiger, and like when you search it in the search bar, it has to be in all caps, and it should say Matt.
Alright. You're saying it has to, I can't just type in Eye of the Tiger without the caps, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Alright, that's weird. I'm trying it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Eye of the Tiger.
And it should be an emoji of the tiger.
And it's under Matt. Okay, I see it. Timeline. Okay, I got it up.
Okay, if you actually take a look at that article, it breaks down this interesting connection between all this tiger symbolism and the movie Rocky 3. and like it goes into detail about like the band called Survivor, and they actually wrote this song called "Eye of the Tiger." And "Eye of the Tiger" was actually like a big album that year in 1982. And like when I was looking at the word, tiger, I found out that like the Greek word for it was tigress, and that sums to 82 English ordinal. And as you know, like Tisha B'Av sums to 82, and like it just goes through like a full just breakdown.
Very interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And there's this connection to the lead singer named Dave Bickler, and I go on in depth about how I think he might be a sacrifice on the Tisha B'Av.
Well, that wouldn't surprise with all this tiger theme. So.
All right, buddy. So yeah, all right, no problem.
And yeah, for people who aren't signed up for freetofindtruth.com yet, again, 100% free to join. It's all about sharing information and not worrying about censorship. Zero censorship here. The only way you can get removed from this website is if you're trolling and harassing people. Like, for example, we had a guy recently who signed up and his name was like Big Dickhead, and he was trolling, so Big Dickhead got deleted. But as long as you're not Big Dickhead, you should be all right. What's up, caller?
What's up, Zach? How you doing?
Doing all right, man.
Hey, did you catch from the date of the pandemic, 3/11, till Bill Gates' birthday is 33 weeks?
33 weeks, Mr. Bill Gates, 33. I didn't catch that. Good one.
33 on the nose.
And he turned 65 this year, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about another thing that I caught about that 5'8" in relation to Kobe Bryant, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. From Jay-Z's birthday till 5'8" is 157 days. And from her mother's birthday to that day, which is 1/4 till 5'8", is 4 months and 4 days, which is, the kill number 44.
Right.
And then Jay-Z with wasn't it a 4/4? Well, that was 3 4s.
His 444 album? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 444 album. And from her daughter, which is Salon, Beyonce's sisters, from her daughter's birthday till that day is 6 weeks and 6 days, 66. And Beyonce equals 66. And her mother is 66 years old. And she was born in 1954.
Huh, okay.
And from the day that Beyonce hit 1 billion views till that day is 38 days. So 5'8" might be a little interesting.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, big basketball ritual that day.
Yeah. So thanks for the tips. Keep up.
All right, man. Keep up the good work. You take care. Okay, so I was saying now, free to find truth, freetofindtruth.com. Again, what's nice about this website is it archives all of your posts. So, like, if I want to look up Matt, I just go to his timeline, and then I see, his most recent post with his Eye of the Tiger. And, hey, Matt, while you're out there, I think you should add an avatar just because, it just makes it look like more of a profile is going on. It doesn't have to be your face. It can be a picture of anything. But maybe that's the only post Matt's done so far today. So, but his next post, it'll show up here above that. Anyway, it's a if you don't have your own blog or post your own research, make it free to find truth. You can just start archiving all your information here. Alrighty, and what else were we looking at? This mutant virus. I was just going to read more about this today. Today is 55 days after March 11th. The new strain began spreading in Europe in early February before migrating to other parts of the world, including the U.S., becoming the dominant form of the virus across the globe by the end of March. So it's like, just when you read news stories, you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't sound new. February? Why are you posting this in May? Just like that story about the murder hornets, which is from November of last year, and then they're making this news in May. Did a video on that last night. Here we go. A 33-page report published Thursday. Hold on. The new strain began spreading in Europe in early February before migrating to other parts of the world, including the United States and Canada, becoming the dominant form of the virus across the globe by the end of March. So in the third month, you get a 33-page report. Researchers at the Los Alamos National Laboratory wrote in a 33-page report published Thursday. Okay, this news is today. I guess they're one. Remember, Trump extended the social distancing till Thursday, April 30th. So, same numbers again and again, 33. They did it with SARS, Ebola, Zika, 33 here, 33 there. And remember, Zika equals 47, and it was discovered in 1947. Just same group of numbers again and again. How about this? In a study published on March 3rd, on 3-3, scientists at Peking's University School of Life Science and the Institute Pasteur of Shanghai found that a more aggressive type of the new coronavirus had accounted for roughly 70% of analyzed strains. And as we know, coronavirus 70, the World Health Organization with their 70 vaccines, the first case confirmed outside of mainland China in Snohomish County, which is 70, and a million more. So they had to give us two 33s in the article. One's a 33-page report, and then the other's published on March 3rd, 3-3. And then, of course, you got Bill Gates, 33, who was head of Microsoft for 33 years. The caller just said a second ago, the pandemic was 33 weeks before his upcoming birthday. All right, well, I think I'll do a little bit more blog posting and getting back to working on the book here. Time to get that thing finished up. Appreciate the heads up on the mutant strain and the donation. Thank you very much. We have something moon related. Remember, the moon's on a 19-year cycle, 2001 to 2020, 19 years apart. COVID-19, they're saying this began at the end of 2019. Chaos 19. So lunar eclipse June 5th, which can be written 6-5 or 5-6, pandemic 65, coronavirus 56. He's saying the date numerology is 15. That is true. Does the word moon equal 15? Am I making that up? Moon equal 15? Run it in reverse. Yeah, moon does have that 15 connection. And the date would have 51 and 15 numerology. So that is an interesting date, June 5th. Has 51 and 15 numerology. There's a lunar eclipse. Okay, I appreciate that heads up. Grant Roger back with another donation. Thank you, Grant. Mike with a donation. Thank you. Mike writes, the IHME is now forecasting at least... Yes. So, Mike, we covered that one a little bit ago. But Mike writes, the IHME is now forecasting at least 134,000 deaths in the U.S. by August 4th, while previously it had predicted over just 74,000 deaths. Right. And... here, I'll just put that back up on the screen because CNN covered that story last night, and I really... Okay, there's some more news. Coronavirus task force to be wound down around Memorial Day. Let's see where they're going with that story. Right before they wind it... Look at what else is right in the front of the screen. More than 70,000 COVID-19 related deaths have been recorded in the U.S. Coronavirus 70. Of course, a man wore what appeared to be a KKK white hood on a trip to the grocery store. I guess this is a sick... mask joke. KKK, the 11th letter 3 times 33, like Corona. States might have to shut down again, experts say. Well, that'd just be like the simulation where they open up too soon and things get worse and then they have to close. But This is what I meant to put up here. Let me fix this. 134,000 should pull it up. Here we go. So again, this was CNN's front page last night. And just look at what number's right up there. Front and center, right below the headline. 2203. Novel coronavirus. 223. Big number with the you-know-whos. So, what do you know? And here, let me just see how the lunar eclipse date lines up with all our other key dates. So June 5th will be the 157th day this year, which is the 37th prime. Virus is 37. So this lunar eclipse, okay, 3 hours. Hold on, we got a call here from Jeremy. Here's the man who dug up some great research on that Microsoft 666 patent. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Zach. I had another article to share with you.
Please.
It's some more research. I'll paste it in the chat. That'll be the easiest way to find for you to click on it.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat right now. Okay, I see it. So, let me copy and paste it into the screen that everybody else can see.
Yeah, so what this article is like a roundup of every country that has passed legislation or protocols for surveillance due to coronavirus.
I see that.
And it breaks it down with each country, and it has like links to official government websites and documents and stuff like that. And it says, we mapped how the coronavirus is driving new surveillance programs around the world. At least 30 countries are ramping up surveillance to combat coronavirus.
I'm moving to Africa.
Yeah, nothing's being done there.
Just South Africa. Yeah, I see Chile's not doing anything either, because I've always heard Chile's a good place to be. Their government's not as totalitarian, but yeah, supposedly Mexico's not doing anything? Huh, that can only last for so long.
I know. Yeah. One of the more interesting ones is if you go down there to the United States, they have a pretty long paragraph about like Apple and Google. The one that was most interesting to me is the paragraph starts out and it says police in New Jersey and Connecticut. If you can find that paragraph, it says they're using aerial drones with temperature sensors and other apparatus to detect people outside who might have the coronavirus. The drones are made by a company called Dragonfly, which claims the drones can detect fever, sneezing, respiratory rate, and whether people are standing an appropriate distance from one another.
Yeah, reading your body temperature. So.
Yeah, and there's like a little link inside that paragraph where it says using aerial drones. Like if you click on that thing, it opens it up to like an ABC Eyewitness News thing from New Jersey, and they have like a video in there, and it shows like how the drone can detect just if your body temperature is higher than normal. I was like, oh my goodness.
It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that they would do that. So yeah, I know, crazy times. I like this paragraph here about the 187 data sets too, because we know about 187. That connects from everything from the Masons to the Jesuits. And I noticed on Johns Hopkins, if you go to Johns Hopkins real-time counter of cases and deaths, they're monitoring in 187 locations, it says right in the bottom left corner. So.
Yeah. I know 187 is the Washington, D.C. number.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, George Washington, too.
Washington, D.C., George Washington, Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and Society of Jesus are all 187, just like how from Trump's birthday to the Pope's birthday is a span of 187 days.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the other countries inside this article, it was saying that they would make the citizens download an app on their smartphone, and then, like, if they left their house, then the app would buzz, you know, or something, and they would be like, oh, this person left their house, let's go arrest them, you know?
Right. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, another really good find here with this article, so... Not that the news is good, but yeah, it's a great article.
Stuff for each country, and some are worse than others, but we know this is just what's being reported. We always know that there's a whole other tip of the iceberg, or whatever they say.
Right. I like how the article begins with the reference to 9/11 and the Patriot Act too. That's nice. So.
Yeah, I don't know exactly about this publication, 10. I don't know if they're like biased or if they're just presenting the information as it is. I know a lot of these links are to like actual official stuff.
10, The Undercurrents of the Future, a Medium publication about tech and science. So maybe just neutral. Sounds like they might be neutral, but just giving you the facts. So yeah, nice one, man.
Yeah.
How'd you find this one?
How did I find it? I think I found it on Hacker News.
Yeah, you always find great articles, man.
That Hacker News site has a lot of good stuff. Like their own technology based, like a news aggregator. They just kind of post the top articles from each day.
Yeah, I got to check that out too. Awesome.
Yeah, that's all I have for today.
All right, appreciate it, Jeremy. Take care, man. See you. So again, if you had any doubt about the connection between 9/11 and what's going on now, and it's all about surveillance, I mean, just look at this article. An attempt to stem the tide of the coronavirus pandemic, at least 30 governments around the world have instituted temporary or indefinite efforts to single out infected individuals or maintain quarantines. Many of these efforts, in turn, undermine personal privacy. It's a complex trade-off. Governments need information to create containment strategies and know where to focus resources. At the same time, governments have a way of holding on to tools that undermine citizens' privacy long after the moment of crisis has passed. Take, for example, the United States 2001 Patriot Act, which was passed in response to the 9/11 attacks. The Patriot Act gave the government broad surveillance powers with little oversight, including demanding customer data from telecoms without court approval. 20 years later, it's still around. And don't forget, our government also passed immunity for the telecom companies so that they could forever violate our rights, the laws of the new land we live in. So, yeah, Jeremy linked this one in the chat. I'll link it one more time in case you didn't catch it the first time around. But that probably is an article worth saving right there. So, thanks again, Jeremy. Jeremy's another person who came out and met me in New Orleans, and we were pounding pavement, educating the people about the code and how it's used. So, I was going to look at the lunar eclipse date and just see how it factors in with the other key dates. So let me see here. From event 201 to the lunar eclipse is 231 days, which is the 21st triangular number, and it's also 33 weeks, which is interesting because lunar equals 21 and 33. Moon is also 21, but lunar 21 and 33, so that's interesting. From the date of the first case confirmed in the U.S., it's 136 days, or a span of 137 days, which is the 33rd prime. And we're also talking about an eclipse. Eclipse is 33. And from the date the pandemic was declared is 86 days, or a span of 87. coronavirus outbreaks 86. If we got a headline like the outbreak got out of control, that could be interesting. And I forget what the gematria of lunar eclipse is. Let me check that too. Lunar eclipse 135 there. Okay. But yeah, that would be a date to keep in mind, June 5th. It's got the 6556 connection, and again, a lot of this has to do with the moon and the moon's 19-year cycle. So. All right, well, I will I'll do a little bit more work on my website, gematriaeffect.news, get some of this new information up that you guys shared with me. Again, the Nick Cage thing. Look into, what's that sport called? Lacrosse. Let's see. We live in public. Check that out. The CTR for population reduction. And Candace Owens, mutant coronavirus, solar eclipse. Okay, I'll get caught up on all those stories. So, yeah, again, tomorrow, May 6th, 5-6. Again, it's 201 days after Event 201, and it's 56 days after the date the pandemic was declared. And, of course, coronavirus 56. So, oh, another potential story that we could see. Remember they delayed the Summer Olympics by the numbers? I noticed that Summer Olympics is also 201. And, you know, this could just all factor into their plan. Maybe by next fall, you know, they're blaming the Summer Olympics on the greater spread, the mutating of a greater virus, all these people coming together from all over the world. Remember, the Olympics were delayed or impacted for the first time since World War II, and the last time they were impacted, it was also hosted by Japan. And they're referring to this as the World War on Germs coronavirus. So, Summer Olympics is also 78 like Wuhan coronavirus and 66 like corona. So just one more 201 to think about. But again, appreciate everybody. Thank you for the generosity. And we'll be back sooner than later. Have a great rest of your day, Truth Seeker. Till next time.